You all have probably seen all the videos out there. They tell you that you should eat every 2 to 3 hours, about 6 to 8 times a day. This is gonna keep your metabolism running and revving, and you're gonna be able to be skinny, fit, and burn fat. So we're gonna see if that's really true on this video today, so make sure you stay tuned. Coming up next. All right, so is it really true that if you eat every 2 to 3 hours, about 6 to 8 times a day, this is gonna keep your metabolism revving, as if you just eat more often, that your mitochondria are just gonna be cranking? Mitochondria is where your body makes energy and burns energy, if you didn't know that. So anyways, there's this theory out there, or a concept that's been taught for years, that you just need to eat 6 to 8 times a day. This is gonna help keep your metabolism humming, you're gonna stay fit. Now here's the thing, is it really true? Well, it depends. A lot of things that we talk about are really context-based. You've heard me talk a lot about insulin resistance and how insulin plays such a role in what is happening in your body as far as hormonally. It's kind of like the quarterback of the overall hormones in the body. And hormones are dictating what happens to the calories that you're putting in your mouth. So it's not just as simple as calories in and calories out. It's really dependent on a hormonal response, your cortisol levels, your adrenaline, your insulin, thyroid, all of your sex hormones like testosterone, growth hormone, DHEA, and then the opposing hormones like your estrogen and progesterone, especially if you're a woman. All those hormones play a big role as far as where those calories are partitioned in the body. So insulin and blood sugar are playing a big role in what is happening with that hormonal response. So here's the thing, if you're very insulin resistant, you're gonna have a cascade of fat storing hormones. You're gonna have your fat burning ones go in the wrong direction, and you're gonna have your fat storing ones go in the wrong direction as well. So essentially you're gonna be storing more fat. We don't want that, right? Here's the thing, if you're insulin sensitive, if you're relatively healthy, insulin sensitivity, which means you're actually utilizing the carbohydrates and the sugar for energy very effectively, and you have lean muscle mass, you get good sleep, you don't have too much stress in your life, you're gonna be able to utilize those carbohydrates, you're gonna be able to get away with eating 6 to 8 times a day, and you might get really good results as far as staying lean. I know I did that for years, the typical bodybuilding bro approach, where I stayed really lean. I was in anywhere from 6 to 7% body fat on a regular basis doing that. But here's the thing, I was starving all the time. I was ravenously hungry because my blood sugar was going up and down. Here's what I found out. When I started utilizing more of a ketogenic approach, I realized you really don't have to eat 6 to 8 times a day, and it's probably not the most optimal way to eat for long-term health and longevity. So what I propose and recommend, and this might seem a little bit counterintuitive from everything that you've ever heard, but again, if we shift those hormones and we keep insulin stabilized, it's gonna change the whole game. So everything that you used to do as far as the bodybuilding approach is kind of the opposite. When your body lowers insulin for long enough, you start making ketones for energy. Essentially what happens is that it spares lean muscle mass just the same way carbohydrates do, but you don't have to eat near as often. You can eat large, what I recommend is like 2 to 3 large meals with high amounts of protein and fats. That's gonna keep the insulin at bay, blood sugar's low, because basically the insulin doesn't respond to fat and not nearly as much to protein. So when you eat those type of macronutrients, you don't have the blood sugar and insulin spike that you would with carbohydrates. And so essentially ketones are gonna rise, it's gonna spare lean muscle mass, it's gonna keep all the hormones that make you wanna eat more, like ghrelin, and keep those satiated. So it's the difference between the two, not necessarily one is wrong or right. It really depends on what your goals are. If I'm wanting to have longevity and to be the optimal fat burner and not have to worry about eating 6 to 8 times a day, then definitely this is probably a way better approach. Now, if you just want to build as much muscle mass as you can, you're an athlete, you're trying to fuel yourself, and you want to go that route, that's okay, but I still think you could probably get similar results doing more of a ketogenic approach. So with that said, that's why I'm a big fan. one or the other isn't necessarily always right or wrong, although you get different results from one versus the other. So I would just keep that in mind, especially if you're someone that's losing weight, you've been overweight for years, you've dieted up and down, you're probably definitely gonna wanna do this approach more because it's more anti-inflammatory and it helps get those hormones in the right direction. So hopefully that helps. I wanted to give you a contextual outlook to both of these approaches and help you understand that it's not just as simple as eat 6 to 8 times a day. And for a lot of people, if they do that, they might end up blowing up like a balloon and having really horrible results. And it just is based on context and where you're at the moment. So God bless you guys. If you like this information, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We love you. I hope you have a great day, and God bless you. See ya.